The vice president's claims about the women in Georgia are not the only campaign talking points that are being contested.
Nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening.
During the debate last week against Donald Trump, Harris denied that late-term abortions happen in the United States. But we know that late-term abortions do happen. While there is no formal definition of late-term abortion in the medical field, a fact that pro-abortion groups use in their marketing, pro-life groups like the Charlotte Lozier Institute consider late-term to be at least in the second trimester. The second trimester, according to the Cleveland Clinic, is from 14 weeks to 27 weeks. More than a dozen states allow abortions up to the point of viability, which is typically 23 weeks. Those are highlighted in yellow. Many of these states have exceptions to allow abortions after viability for reasons including mental health. And the states in red have no gestational limit in their laws whatsoever. Harris's statement about abortion during the debate was incorrect, but according to Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America, so were statements made by one of the moderators, ABC News journalist Lindsay Davis. Let's take a listen.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America, says that Davis's statement is completely inaccurate and it ignores the reality of babies who survive failed late-term abortions, are denied basic medical care, and left to die. In Minnesota, in 2021, the State Department of Health reported that 5 abortion procedures resulted in a born-alive infant. According to the report, in one instance, fetal anomalies were reported resulting in death shortly after delivery. In 2 other instances, the infants were pre-viable. In all of those cases, no measures were taken to preserve life, and the infant did not survive. In 2 instances, comfort care measures were provided as planned, and the infant did not survive. Vice presidential candidate Tim Walz ended born-alive protections in the state in 2023. Late-term abortions do happen in many states, and their centers can be found online. We found websites that offer abortions from 25 to 31 weeks, others that talk about third trimester abortion, and others that offer abortion for 24 weeks and later. Katie Glendaniel with Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America and Kim Marvin with the Abortion Survivors Network join us now to dive a little further into the reality of late-term abortions. Kim, you're a survivor of a saline abortion at full term, 9 months. Tell us your story and how these campaign controversies affect you.
Yes, my story is one of a terrifying nightmare that I would have very frequently since I can remember as a little girl. And when I turned 15, this nightmare woke me up. And in great detail, I described it to my parents. And it is a feeling I would get, and all of a sudden I'd be in this very veiny, dark environment with a black object in the upper left-hand corner. I knew at 2 months in the womb that that black object was going to kill me, and I would be pushing back constantly. As I described this nightmare, and the black object being the saline injection is what was deduced, that my parents' faces just turned pale, and they said that they had me aborted. It was arranged by my grandmother, and miraculously, I didn't die, as so many did. This affected me in so many ways, but I want to share the most important thing, the power of forgiveness. My mother and my father said they were sorry, and I forgave them. And miraculously, I never had that terrifying nightmare ever again. It's affected me in so many ways. We're in a very marginalized community of the abortion survivors. You don't exactly find a lot of people or in your neighborhood that you can discuss this with, and it's a little isolating. So I'm very thankful for Abortion Survivor Network, who has connected me with so many other survivors.
Kim, that's absolutely the type of stories that we need to hear, these brave portrayals of forgiveness, but also of the reality that late-term abortion does exist. Katie, we briefly just showed this evidence, this testimony that late-term abortions are real. And we showed data from Minnesota, as well as current websites that offer these abortions after 24 weeks. How was Vice President Harris so dismissive of the idea that late-term abortions are real?
Stories like Kim's put the lie to everything that she tells women, that your baby doesn't matter, that this is not a second human life that you are carrying, and that abortion does not intentionally end that life. So women like Kim are so threatening to the abortion industry because you are the evidence that abortion is the ending of a child's life. So we couldn't be more grateful to those survivors who are willing to speak out, and we've got to push their message so that people like Vice President Harris have to answer for it. Why do you think that Kim should not be here?
Absolutely. Well, Kim, the Abortion Survivors Network that you gave great thanks for states that more than 85,000 infants have been born alive after failed abortion since 1973, and that the average number of abortion survivors each year is approximately 1,700. What impact do you think more permissive abortion laws will have on these numbers?
Well, we've already seen it. The number of survivors are increasing by 40%. And that has been going on since Roe versus Wade was overturned. So it's increased. And now we're actually reaching out to mothers of survival babies and working with them, walking with them, supporting with them, and also mothers that have adopted abortion survivor children.
It's so important. Katie, last question for you. Are there legal loopholes or deficits in reporting that allow late-term abortions to continue or to be promoted?
Yes, many states don't collect accurate information about this. We know, though, from the few states that do, like Minnesota until last year, like Florida, where I live, that these abortion survivors are real, that they are surviving abortion every single year. And so we've got to take that small amount of data we've got and really shine a light on this important issue and show the humanity of every single human child.
Well, it's absolutely important, and we're grateful for both of you for speaking out on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.